Hey guys, welcome back to Football by Rob. It's Rob here. Apologies for the delay. I know it's been a while since we last saw each other. I've just had some technical difficulties, but I just want to put all that to the side. We have to discuss all the things that Arsenal have been doing since my last video about Madueke's signing. And it just feels nice, It just feels amazing to be an Arsenal fan today because we got our gunman. Victor Gyökeres is in, and it's amazing. The deal that Berta and Arteta have hammered out with Sporting. Everybody knows they are not an easy customer to negotiate with. But these guys have got him for what? Close to 73.5 million euro with all the add-ons. 5-year deal. I know he's a bit old, 27, older than what we would normally buy. But I'm just chuffed. Really, really happy to see him. This has been a long time coming. We needed this striker, I would say, a year and a half, 2 years ago, and things would be so different right now if we had a proper gunman. And I'm just so glad to see him. It just feels nice, I just want to take like a couple of moments just to soak it in. It's been really rough for Arsenal fans of my age, the generation, growing up in the early 2000s and stuff, post the Invincibles, post the Champions League final in Barca. And we have seen so many of our star players leave, want to move away from us because the times were tough and, seek other pastures. We have seen stars turn us down over going to somewhere else. And to now be in a position where top players are turning down other teams with equally large reputations for us, damn, it just feels good, man. It just feels really good. And I don't know, I won't be able to quantify it in a normal way. But I just hope it continues. And I will have to give the props to Andrea Berta and Mikel Arteta for this. So anyway, while we can celebrate this, we also have to keep in mind that there is still a lot of work to be done. The transfer window is still open for another 5 weeks. And I think there are still additions that we can make. And at the same time, we need to seriously consider some outgoings as well. So in this video, we're going to discuss that. We're going to see what Arsenal can do moving forward into the transfer window and how we can set ourselves up for potential success and what we need to do for that. So right off the bat, if we scroll down here, as things stand, we have a total of 33 players that have been registered to the squad. Okay? Now, if I say depth-wise, we look stacked. Again, there will be some differences. I think Madueke is probably going to be a wing option. Wanyeri is going to be somebody who can play midfield and wing. So there will be overlapping situations as well, right? The defense looks solid. Really, really happy with that. The goalkeeping situation also, I'm glad for the first time in a long time, we have two keepers, both on payroll. Neither of them are on loan. We don't have a single player in the squad who is on loan from another club. And I'm so glad that we have both our loan slots open. I hope it stays open, at least going into January as well. So that way we have that option, the flexibility in case something happens, that we can go out and look into the market. I still haven't gotten over the fact that we loaned Neto, who was cup-tied, and Raheem Sterling, who was an absolute waste of space last season. And that just jammed us up in January. But anyway, let's not get into that. It's a happy video today. It's a happy video. So let's look at all the signings that we've got done, right? From the order of when they were announced, we've got Kepa first, £5 million from Chelsea. Good deal. I'm happy with it. Norgard, again, something around 11 million from Brentford. Decent deal to be the Jorginho backup, or the Jorginho replacement rather. Zubimendi, the big one. I'm really happy with this guy signing as well. And I'm, based on what I've seen from him so far, I've only seen 45 minutes in the pre-season game against Milan. decent. And I can't wait to see how he integrates even more as the preseason progresses. It's going to be equally important seeing him in the next two games because they are Premier League opposition, and they are opposition that we uh, always have a tough game against. Like Newcastle always love to play against us, and they are like a bogey club at times for us. And well, Spurs, everybody knows there's no love lost between us. So even in a preseason situation, I expect it to be a feisty atmosphere, and it will be interesting to see how he handles himself in that situation. This one I'm still on the fence about. I wasn't really on board with it, but he's playing for my team, so I will give him the support that any player who signs for my club deserves. And I reserve the right to judge later based on performances. So I'm going to give him the season and see what he does. I'm still not really sold on the amount of money that we've paid for him. That being said, having seen what players of similar age, profile, quality, and again nationality also coming into a factor, Premier League experience also coming into a factor, seeing what players of this sort of profile have been going for in the market, again I will say that it is a decent deal. This guy has his faults with decision making, and I have pointed that out, but then since then I have also noticed that his progressive carries and his runs and all have been nice as well, and the stats are promising, and it is something that we were lacking in, so it makes sense on a statistical point of view, right? But at the same time, I mentioned it in my last video with Madueke that it doesn't make any sense if I'm going to have somebody who drives in all the time but doesn't make the right decision at the right point in time. It is something that he will need to work on and improve, and that is something that also Mikel Arteta can coach. Now, it remains to be seen, right? I'm going to give him time, like I said, and I hope for his sake and mine and for the club that he can prove me wrong. I would love nothing more. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong in this situation. Next up, again, this is an unknown quantity for me personally. I'll be honest with you. I did not really follow this player a whole lot. So I wouldn't really be in a position where I can give you my opinion on him. What I will say is I've seen his compilations and he looks solid. The foundation for a really good defender. I'm glad that he's right-footed as well. So we have now a right-footed backup for Saliba and a left-footed backup for Gabriel. And I think that is important. The amount of money we've paid for him is also decent. The fact that he was also really driven and determined to join really impressed me as well. So I'm glad to see that. Again, I want to see how he turns up. He's joined the squad, and at the time of recording, there is a game, right, 2 hours from now, in Singapore, between Arsenal and Newcastle, if I'm not mistaken, or Arsenal and Spurs, one of the two. I think it's Newcastle. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what he does. The big one, Victor Gyökeres again. I'm just so happy we've got him. So happy that we didn't get Sesko. No hate on Sesko, no shade on him either. But I really didn't want Arsenal to go and sign a project striker or somebody who isn't ready, somebody who needs time in the oven. No, I need a win now guy. And this guy looks like he could be that for us. I seriously hope he is. Big, 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 big expectations on his shoulder. Sorry for the really weird cut. My cat was at the door and I had to deal with her. But yeah, coming back. So now that we've got these signings done, I still think there is room for Eze in the team. And again, that will be contingent on whether this man is being brought in to play right wing or left wing. I think it doesn't make sense to play him left wing. I have seen him play left wing for Chelsea. No. And at the same time, again, one of the reasons why I was worried about him or about having him is him on the right wing as Saka's deputy. He is just like a Wanyeri and just like a Saka. Use your left foot, cut in, do the Robin thing. I would want some more versatility in that. I think I've only seen him try to feint that left and then go right and actually finish against Wolves. With the time when he scored the hat trick, when he had posted that the city's crap and whatnot. That was the only time. Apart from that, I haven't really seen him get a lot of joy out of using his right foot, and he normally prefers going on his left. And that's just like Saka. Now with Saka, the inevitability is there. Like he's gonna do that, but how are you gonna stop him? Like Robin, but not as lethal. Robin was just like it's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Lord knows Arsenal fans have seen it way too many times in real time. So again, I'm not really sold on him playing on the left wing, right? And unless he's just going to be out and out hugging the touchline and trying to put crosses in and only being on his left foot, but then will he want to do that, or is he going to be still staying to the nature and the profile that he has, where he wants to get into the box and he's trying to make things happen either with an assist or with a shot on goal, because he takes a lot of shots as well, right? So again, I think Eze makes more sense. And to get Eze, there will need to be some clearing out. And this is where the fun part of the video ends, because hard decisions now have to be made. So this is Arsenal's annual payroll right now. Again, there have been changes to it since last season's end, basically. So I think this was at the start of September 2024, and we are now in July 25. So if you'll go down, these players have not been added. We haven't added Gyökeres either, I think, here yet. But if you look at our highest earner, this is where I have an issue with Arteta. I gave him his flowers earlier in the video, but I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't call him out on this. 280,000 a week for Kai Havertz. Is he going to still be a striker now that we have Victor Gyökeres, the most prolific striker in Europe for the last 2 seasons? Is he going to play attacking midfield then? And if he's playing in midfield, what happens to Odegaard, or what happens to Declan Rice? What happens to even Marino, who likes to come forward at times? And if he is not starting, do you think we as a club can justify having a substitute or a bench rotation option on 280 grand a week? I just want to say right off the bat, I don't think Kai Havertz gets sold this season, because Mikel is a huge fan of his, and I don't see it happening. But at the same time, how are you going to justify Kai Havertz being on this sort of money and not being a certified bona fide starter? How? I don't know. The one I do want Arsenal to move on from is Gabriel Jesus. Again, no hate on him. Nice guy. I really liked him in those first 6 months, first 4 months actually, because he got injured in December in the World Cup. He just hasn't been the same since. And it's unfortunate, but it's nothing we can do about it. The superstitious person in me would probably say we need to ban the number 9 altogether, because I have seen it take away so many good strikers. Yeah, 265k a week. He has 2 years on his contract as things stand. So almost 30 million, the better half, more than 25 million pounds. This could be money that we could have used elsewhere. We wouldn't be hamstrung like this financially. Now, we're going to go into detail as well. So, actually, let's do that. Let's go into the people I have picked out already. So, Kai, he's getting way too much money. Again, I'm not down with this. And Gabby as well. When I see his breakdown, we've already given him 3 years worth of money. So, over his career, we are going to be giving him 67.86 million if he stays his full contract out, right? When we signed Jesus, Isaac was available. And we didn't go for Isaac because we didn't want to pay the transfer fee that Sociedad wanted. But look at the contract that Newcastle had him on. They still have him on. He wants to leave now and they're trying to prepare a new contract for him. But we could have gone for that then and things would be completely different right now. I just don't understand Gabriel Jesus's situation at the club right now. I don't see a situation where he is fit enough and available enough to contribute in a way that can be considered meaningful. And it's unfortunate, but we cannot be a charity either. So I think we should be moving on from this. Next up, this one as well. And I'll show you why. So if you look at his contract, 200 a week based on bonuses. I wish we could see what the bonuses are. I have no idea. But the reason why I want us to be done with this contract ASAP is here. This is Arsenal 24-25, all competitions, players, performance, all stats. All right. I want you to focus on here, minutes. Okay. The highest number of minutes any player played for us last season was David Raya. He started 55 games. He played 55 times, started all of them, 4,980 minutes. Okay. So that is just to give you an idea. And now this is a goalkeeper. So he normally doesn't get subbed unless it's an injury or something else. For an outfield player, it's William Saliba, 50 starts, 51 matches played, 4,464 minutes. Okay. Before I start scrolling, do you want to guess how many minutes Alexander Zinchenko played last season? All competitions? Go on. I'll give you a moment. Ready? You ready with your guess? Let's go. Zinchenko played 795 minutes. A total of 23 matches, 8 starts. He finished 90 minutes almost 9 times in the whole game, in the whole season, sorry. He finished 90 minutes a total of close to 9 times in the season. I'm not even going into his stats for goals, assists, or anything like that. Just this alone does not warrant this sort of money. And for this, again, I have to blame Mikel Arteta. This is, I'm not even going into the bonus. It could be probably performance related or minutes related. So 150. That is 150 and 265 and 280. Now, okay, I will still say Kai Havertz can be on a 150 to 180k contract, and that I will still say, okay, justifiable based on his overall output and effort and just drive to run around on the pitch. Lord knows he's a hard worker. I'm not going to put that against him. But what are we doing paying these two guys for literally being passengers? Gabriel Jesus is a striker who is on record saying, I don't love scoring. Why are we employing him then? just for the fancy footwork. Makes no sense. We should be getting rid of this ASAP. ASAP. But that's the thing. Who's going to buy him? And I genuinely won't be surprised if he just, has another one of these seasons where he'll have like 25 appearances, 10 starts maybe if he's lucky, and he'll keep picking up his paycheck at the end of the week. And we're just getting fleeced, if you'll ask me. This and Jesus' contract alone could be enough to attract Alexander Isak, hypothetically. I know we don't have the space for him, but I'm just saying. Again, another one that I think we need to just be done with. He has 1 year left on his contract anyway. I don't see a situation where he can break into the team. He's been out on a series of loans, and again, no one has ended up pulling the trigger on him. So what does that say about him as a player? I'm not too sure. But I don't see him having a future at Arsenal. And again, it may sound harsh. I don't have anything against him personally. I'm just speaking from the point of view of a fan who just wants the team to succeed. And there were high hopes for him, I remember, in 2021. Yeah, I want to say 2021. But yeah, since then, no. So again, Samuel Okonga, we need to move on from ASAP. This one, again, while his salary isn't that great, we have him for 2 years, and I just don't see him being the kind of player that can help. Arsenal is a really physical team right now. They're all strong, well built, and he is just the antithesis of that. Just the opposite. He is like the David Silva type of build. Problem is, he is not as technical as David Silva, where his technical abilities are making up for his physical ineptitude, maybe, or physical stature, So Fabio Vieira, I think, again, if we can find somebody who would want to take him, we're probably going to make a loss on it anyway. But I think, yeah, he just needs to go. And again, why I'm saying all this is, if we have these players leaving, that gives us room in the squad, because we know that Mikel wants a small squad, right? So I think it will be important for us to try and see that each position is filled by somebody who is actually of utility. We cannot have any passengers. We cannot have any people who are playing less than 1,500 minutes a season, or unable to play less than 1,500 minutes a season. If they are not playing out of choice, again, that is a different thing. That is down to the minutes distribution from the coach, from the management team, based on who is where in what stage of the fitness level cycle, right? Yeah, but coming back, Reece Nelson. Now, there have been reports from The Athletic that Fulham want to buy him, and they're looking for a deal. He was there last season. He was really excelling for the best part of the last season, and then he had a season-ending injury, and that was that. But I think, yeah, we can probably move him on as well. His salary off our books will be the main important thing. Again, when I mention all these outgoings, I am not focusing on the kind of money that we can recoup on the transfer, because everybody knows that Arsenal really poor when it comes to selling players, our own assets, right? My main focus here is getting the wages of the book and how that can help overall. Now that these are done, while I'm also saying that this money can go towards new signings, more than that, they can go towards extending the contracts and actually giving pay rises to the players who deserve it. Who deserve it? Exhibit A, Bukayo Saka. His contract is up in 2027. I think he is up for a new deal. And again, maybe not massively improved, but if you see the years, I will want him to get like a 4 or 5 year deal right now. Whether he wants to sign it or not is up to him. But if you want to dedicate that sort of money for 5 years, you need to have that overlay in place before you make the deal, because you don't want to go and then become like Barcelona, where you have committed X amount of money, but then 3 years down the line, you're actually broke and you can't pay the guy. And that's what happens with so many of their players. There are so many players who are on deferred wages. And I don't want a situation where hypothetically Saka leaves the club and we are still paying him because we deferred his wages at that point in time, or we overcommitted. So, in order for us to be financially prudent about this, we need to get people like Jesus, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Albert Sambi-Lokonga, and so on and so forth off, and give the contracts to Bukayo Saka. And then next up, Saliba as well. There's no bonus in his contract. Real Madrid are circling. Lord knows they love a freebie. So it will be imperative for us to ensure that these two are tied down to contracts before the January window comes in, because at that point in time there will be 18 months left, and that is when the alarm bells start ringing and the vultures start circling. And lastly, Ethan. Miles got his contract. I'm so happy about that. I just want to show you Miles' contract. Hold on. If you go back here, where is he? Well deserved. So I'm really happy about that. Where is it? There we go. 40,000 a week he's on, and he's still 2030. So really good deal for us as well. I see him only progressing, only excelling. Ethan needs the same. Ethan needs at least a 40 or a 50k contract, and I think he is just going to be massive for us moving forward if we can hold on to him, and if we can also give him the platform to grow and not just keep signing a lot of players and stop him from excelling. I think one of the reasons we are not signing Eze yet, or maybe we might not sign Eze, is because this guy Arteta wants to see Vanieri and Dauman maybe playing in the midfield. But like I said with Max Dauman, I want to see him break into the team, but I don't think he's ready yet for the sort of responsibility that will come from being like a regular first team rotation option. I think he's somebody I will want to see get like 15 games over the course of the season, maybe like 3 or 4 starts in the lower level competitions like League Cup and all. But yeah, I think Ethan needs to be signed ASAP. So that's where I'm at right now. We still can sign Eze if I just go back to this thing out here. Now, if we just make some changes, I will put out an updated version of this. If we can make the changes, we'll have Mosquera here. This is good. Havertz again, not Havertz out here. Havertz can be up here actually. And Sambi-Lokonga's there for now, so he could be there. Madueke, is he going to play left? Is he going to play right? I think he'll play right. Can move and Wanyeri here. Johnson David is gone, so maybe, yeah, Havertz can be the backup striker here. I'll be okay with that. It's looking good. It's looking good. Right. So, if I just look at Arsenal's record arrivals, Arteta era Declan Rice, Arteta era Kai Havertz, Arteta era Martin Zubimendi, Arteta era Victor Gyökeres, Arteta era Ben White, Arteta era Noni Madueke, Arteta era Gabriel Jesus. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of Arsenal's top 10 signings of all time, money-wise, have come for Mikel Arteta. We have got you a proper bagsman. There is no room for excuses. This is the expectation for Arsenal. This is what I would put as an Arsenal fan on the team. I know it's tough. It isn't any team's birthright to go and win the Premier League or the Champions League, but that has to be the target. Now, if you get to the end of May and you lose on the final day, or you lose in the final of the Champions League or the semi-final of the Champions League and you narrowly lose out, acceptable, but then you have to have bagged at least the Carabao and FA Cup both. Not just one. And certainly not just the Carabao Cup. The amount of money that has been invested, the amount of time that has been invested, the resources, the facilities at your disposal, the standards are high now. If you win either the Premier League or the Champions League, and maybe don't win anything else, again, depending on performance then, but then it's fine. If you don't win the Premier League, if you don't win the Champions League, Carabao and FA Cup have to be in the bag. And this is non-negotiable. Otherwise, you will have proven to the world that you are a Brendan Rodgers for us. And I don't think even Brendan Rodgers had this sort of money to play with. Arsene certainly didn't. Lord knows I have criticized that old man a lot, wanting him to leave and everything, because he had overstayed his welcome, I felt, at the point in time. But he never had the kind of players that you have, or the kind of money you have at your disposal. Again, I'm also going to call Wenger out. He has made some massive, massive howlers in the transfer market as well, passing on players and going for other players. And I have seen that bite us in the backside multiple times. He's not exempt from it either, from criticism. But Mikel, you have no room to hide now. And I don't care who Liverpool sign. I don't care who City sign. I don't care who Chelsea sign. I don't care who United sign. I don't care who Spurs sign. I don't care. We don't care. It's time to put up or shut up. The boards put up. Berta's put up. Are you gonna put up? What do you think, guys? Are we being too harsh with the expectation part? What are your thoughts on the signings? What are your thoughts on the outgoings that I mentioned? What are your thoughts on the amount of money, 2 minutes we are paying for some of our players? Again, both the players that I have mentioned who are the highest paid but least performing are Arteta players as well. So is it something that needs to be discussed? Or are we just going to give him a free pass for all the progress? And again, I gave him his flowers. I'm really happy. To see where he's brought us from where we were is amazing. But is that enough? No, not for me. I want more. We want more. We need more. We deserve more. And it's time that he shows us that he is the guy who can deliver that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about everything I mentioned. If you like the video, drop a like, share, subscribe if you can. Always helps out. I have these t-shirts that I make. I'll be dropping a link and a video outro as well for them. You can check them out as well. I draw them myself, no AI. And yeah, it'll help if you want to support. That's about it, guys. It's been a long one. I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Cheers. Peace.